Welcome, guys, to the Meet Damien live stream here. We're going to talk about what's going on with the markets. I know some of you guys are wondering, why are the markets going down today? We just got an interest rate cut. And the markets are going down. And then we also got kind of like a trade deal going on with China. And the markets are still going down. I mean, I I'm also wondering the same thing as well. And that's why I'm doing this live stream. But I'm gonna try to go over the things that I think is bringing the markets down. Even though we got an interest rate cut yesterday, it was kind of like a hawkish cut. Okay, not a dovish cut. For those who know about hawkish and dovish, you know, Jerome Powell yesterday was being very hawkish. Okay. Still worrying about inflation, even though they cut interest rates. He's still talking about inflation being an issue. And the one important thing that he said yesterday, and I'll go ahead and show you on the this news article here. The one important thing that he said is that a further reduction of the policy rate in December is not a foregone conclusion. In fact, far from it. That last part that he said there, far from it, sent the markets into a fever yesterday, and it's continuing to go into a fever and going down because of that. Like, he did not have to say, oh, we're far from cutting rates. Okay, but he did say that, and that's when the markets dropped yesterday. We had a little bit of a recovery, but as you can see today, they're still digesting that news like, hey, interest rate cuts might not get cut in December, and this might be it as far as rate cuts go. So we're seeing a little bit of a unwinding, a little bit of a repricing in the markets as far as what the stock market and crypto can do. Even the stock market's having a bad day today as well. It's not just crypto, okay? And I'm going to first go over Bitcoin, and then I want to look at the 10-year treasury, and then kind of show you what's going on with gold here as well before I start doing the requests. I do see that DZ is requesting SQD here, and we'll take a look at that. And I see Laureen is in the chat as well, and Jake, Alpha Trades. Good to see you guys as well. And Laureen's also on TikTok as well. Multiple, checking me out on both platforms. I do TikTok and YouTube here, guys. But yeah, let's get into what's going on with Bitcoin. So I talked about this on the Discord, and I didn't do a live stream yesterday because I was busy. Matter of fact, I'll be busy later on today and tomorrow. But I plan on live streaming tomorrow as well. I should be able to do a live stream tomorrow. But what I did see was this potential head and shoulder pattern. I know there's some other YouTube guys out there, some other traders and investors that are trying to say like, oh, this is not a head and shoulders, or I could see it be a possible head and shoulders, or looks like the ugliest head and shoulder pattern that I've seen. But you know what? It still shows up as a head and shoulder pattern. You got a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder on the daily time frame. This is a bearish pattern, and I just think like the ones who say like this is an ugly head and shoulder pattern, or it doesn't look like a head and shoulder pattern to me, I think they're just in denial right now, because they can't believe that Bitcoin is actually going to go down after we just had lower interest rates and a trade deal with China all in fruition in one day here. They can't believe that the price of the markets is just, Bitcoin price is going to go down even after we had all that good news get, pretty much baked into the price right now. If this is going to be a head and shoulder pattern, let me just draw this out real quick here, guys. If this is a head and shoulder, you just measure from the top of the head down to where the neckline is, like right over here. Let me just straighten out that line a little bit, okay? And you just take that measured move, you put it to like where we could break out from the neckline here, and it gives you an idea as like how far Bitcoin could drop down if things really get bad out there. And it's showing that blue number right there, $90,207. If we drop down to 90,000, if we lose right now, which we're currently doing, if we're losing the 2-day moving average and we continue to be bearish, then yeah, this is going to show us we could possibly go down to 90K Bitcoin, and that's going to hurt. The altcoins are already in the bear market as far as I'm concerned. Some of them barely made new all-time highs like Solana and XRP. The rest of these altcoins haven't seen all-time highs or haven't seen the highs since like a year ago. They've been in the bear market. And this would just be the nail in the coffin. If we lose this 200-day moving average, right? I put it in the title of the video. If we lose this level, right? The level is like kind of like where we're at right now. The 200-day moving average at 109K right now is this red number right here. We're below 109K. As you can see, Bitcoin is trading at $108,000. If we continue to lose this level, we start doing some candle closes below the 200-day moving average, right? Then guess what, guys? We're in a bear market. You heard it from me. We're in a bear market, okay? Because if Bitcoin goes below the 200-day moving average, my qualification is you're below the 200-day moving average. That means the last 200 days you are below the average of the last 200 days. Let that, click in your head. The last 200 days is what this moving average is showing you, and you're below those prices. That means you're in a bear market. I don't care what anybody says. Below the 200-day moving average, you're in a bear market, and you've been playing around with going into a bear market earlier this month, right? What we saw here on Friday, October 17th, we lost the 200-day moving average. Now, this was a warning. Okay, this was a warning sign. And the warning sign was saying that, if you go below this 200-day moving average, you are playing with danger here of going into a bear market. And we were able to recover, right? On Saturday, we had, on Saturday, October 18th, we still had a candle close below it. And then on Sunday, we were able to actually get above that 200-day moving average. And I wanted to see a V-shaped recovery, and it looked like we kind of created one almost, but then we got rejected. We got rejected off the 100-day moving average, and then we tried to come back up again, and we got rejected off the 50-day moving average. Okay, so right now we're playing with danger. We're in the warning zone, the red zone, whatever you want to call it. If we keep doing candle closes below the 200-day moving average, then guess what, guys? Get ready for the bear market. Okay. Because the same thing happened back here in earlier in 2025, where we were getting candle closes below the 200-day moving average, and of course, we saw Bitcoin drop down to like 74K when it did that. Okay, so this was kind of like a mini bear market. Okay, it was a short-lived bear market until we got Trump saying he's going to pause tariffs and not actually go through on his tariff threats, and then we got sent higher. A lot of revenge buyers came in trying to buy Bitcoin again after they sold near the lows at $70,000 and $80,000 here. They had to get back into the market again. Right now, I'm a little bit worried because we're actually getting good news on tariffs, and we're getting interest rate cuts, and it just seems to be not enough here, not enough for Bitcoin. So I'm wondering, how much further do we have to go down? If I go into the 3-day chart on Bitcoin, you can see that we have some moving averages below us that might provide support. And if we do drop down below 100, 107, 100K here, we do have the 50-day moving average at 103K. This is an area that I think we still need to hold if we're going to still be bullish, because it's above 100K. That's a psychological number that people are holding on to. Like, oh my God, if Bitcoin goes below 100K, I'm out of crypto. Okay, 103K could be where we hold the line in the sand for a lot of the bulls out there. But if we lose that, then the 100-day moving average is sitting at 94K, and that's confluent with this 90K number here with this head and shoulder pattern. So, if we lose 103K, we might come down to like 93K or 90K in that case. And we just have to plan this out here. If this is going to be the way that Bitcoin and crypto goes down, this is what we might see going into the next few days, next few weeks here. Now, I can't be overly bearish because, like I said, this is just a warning right now, okay? And we have been able to stay above the 200-day moving average for the most part, okay? So this could just be one bad day, and then the markets realize, hey, it's really not that bad out there. We still got an interest rate cut, and the economy is doing fine, and trade deals are here, and there's not going to be a trade war with China. So maybe this might be the last hoorah for the bears before we jump up to higher prices. And if this is the last hoorah for the bears, then the bulls have a lot of proving to do. We have to get back up again, and I want to see us get up to 119K to get rid of the fact that we're making a head and shoulder pattern here. I want to see us make a higher high than what we did here on Monday when we got to 116,400. Get up to 116,400 and also get up to like $119,000 here, and you're now creating the case that you're making higher highs here, not lower highs. Okay, because right now You know, we had a high here in October 6th where we got to, you know, the all-time high of 126,296. But now we're kind of making a lower high case and kind of creating a bearish case here for the bears. We need to invalidate this by actually going up to higher prices here. And getting away from this 200-day moving average, all right? So as of now, I want to see Bitcoin get back up to 119K if it can, and if it's able to do so, before I get bullish. And if Bitcoin gets 119K, then we can start talking about 126K all over again and 131K for that Fibonacci extension, the 1272 Fib extension to the upside. But yeah, as of now, we're flirting with danger right now. Like we're on a cliff's edge. We're about to fall off. And if we continue doing candle closes below the 200-day moving average, I myself am going to sell some of my crypto here. I will actually sell some of my Solana and some of my other altcoin bags as well. Let me see. I'm going to just check on the chat here, see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. There we go. We got Chris Klein in the chat and Kitty Kush. Kitty Kush says your 103K is your line to hold as well. Yep. That's what I'm also looking at right now, besides the 200-day moving average. Chris says, hey Damien, hey everyone. Sorry you haven't been around, but still love the show. And then he says, smash the like button. Yes, smash that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that follow button for my TikTok guys here. Chris says, you're not in any trades right now. Pulled out this morning before the drop earlier this morning. I'm actually in a short on Syrup. That's one of the coins that I am shorting right now. I might look for some other shorts. On a day like today, when I know Bitcoin is bearish, I start looking for short things I can short besides Bitcoin itself. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, let's look at the 103K level, because that is a level to be looking out for. As I start to zoom out some more here, let's go into the VRVP real quick here. There should be a high volume node there. Yeah, there is a high volume node right below us. You can see like right over here, 103K, 103,700, 104,000, 105,000. There's some support here, mainly because you got some people back here in June and May that were buying at 103, 104K. So those people are still in profit right now, just barely, with Bitcoin being above 107K. But they're going to start clicking the sell button if Bitcoin loses that 103K button. And that's going to be the increased selling pressure that the bears would like to see. And if we get that increased selling pressure, you can see that we get a gap in the VRVP. There's not much support. So you get to like 96K maybe, 97K. And then even more support here at like 94K. So, and that's confluent with the people back here that bought Bitcoin in like late April and early May. They were buying Bitcoin at like 94, 95K here. So that's going to be your support zone if we lose 103, 104K. All right, so that's actually kind of like my hidden level where I'm really going to get nervous about Bitcoin going to lower prices. If we go to 103K, I probably will sell some more of my crypto, just knowing that, you know, this might be the highest price I can get it for a while, okay? Because it's looking like a distribution pattern here, head and shoulder pattern here. And it doesn't feel like a blow off top, but you know what? The same thing happened back in 2021 when we were like, oh, it doesn't feel like a blow off top, right? Do you guys remember saying that kind of thing here? Back in like October, November of 2021? Like, we didn't go exponential. We kind of did go a little bit exponential on October, and that was like a nice little bull run. But like the people here, you know, even I myself, I was in the market in November of 2021. Like, we were like, oh, this doesn't feel like a blow off top. Oh, this is not a head and shoulder pattern. Oh, this is not a blow off top. And then things got worse in December. Oh my God, we're losing our key levels here. We're losing the 50-day moving average. We're losing the 100-day moving average. And then we're like, oh, we're still on the 200-day moving average. We're good, right? We're good. This is like December of 2021. Then going into January 2022, we're like, oh no, like we lost the 200-day moving average. It's all right, guys. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Buy the dip, guys. Come on, guys. Aren't you guys gonna buy the dip? Oh, okay. Now we're going back up, and then we back test the 200-day moving average. All right, guys. We could be bullish again. We're back at the 200-day moving average. Oh, we lost it. Okay, guys, buy the dip. Guys, buy the dip, guys. How come you guys aren't buying the dip? I mean, here we are in May of 2022, and we're below the 280 moving average, and we're below like almost all the moving averages. All right, guys, I'm sure that this is the bear market, but we can actually buy the dip, and then it dips more. Okay, and it just continues going on in that bear market where people are in denial that we're in the bear market. Okay. And it wasn't until after the FTX bankruptcy that people were like, oh, damn it. I guess we are in a bear market. And then that was actually the bottom of the bear market when the FTX went bankrupt. And then we went above the 2-day moving average finally in January 2023. Do you guys want to wait a year after losing the 200-day moving average? You guys want to wait a year to actually be bullish again? Because that's what happened in 2022. All right, so like this is why I'm saying like we're flirting with danger here. We lose that 200-day moving average, I'm out. I'm going to start selling. Okay? I'm not going to be one of these people like, oh, buy the dip. Buy the dip, guys. I mean, that will work out eventually. It's better than buying the top. But still, it could keep on dipping. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys here is that we could have a bear market where it just keeps on dipping on you. You guys already seen that with the altcoins. Where you're like, oh, buy the dip on the altcoins. And it kept on dipping. Let's see. Chris Klein says, do I use/believe in fractals? If so, take a look back to June 17th of this year and Halloween of last year. Looks interesting. Maybe. I mean, I'm still a believer in the 4-year cycle, and this is not. I mean, we're kind of getting towards the end where we should be considering selling, and I'm sure there's some sellers out there besides myself who are selling because we know, like, after 4 years, it's kind of hard for Bitcoin to continue. We haven't seen Bitcoin go up on the 5th year. Usually the 5th year ends up being like a bear year, like a bear market. So this might be it. This might be it for Bitcoin. I hate to say it, but I already tell you, like, my criteria is like we lose a 200-day moving average and we stay below 200-day moving average, I'm selling. I mean, we lose 103K, I'm selling as well. I'm not gonna like stick around because if I'm wrong and we just all of a sudden, like, let me just draw this out here, right? But if I'm wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, so we can go to higher prices, right? But if I'm wrong, right, and if we go to like 103K and I sell here, right, and then we just violently go back up again, okay, and maybe we make a higher low, higher high, higher low, I can get back in at 119K. And if we're going up to like 130, 140, 150K, I can get back in, and then what? And then I can benefit from Bitcoin going to like 150K. If I get in at like 119, 120K, and we see Bitcoin go to 150K, I can benefit from that, okay? But I don't want to just continue holding on, to hopium here as we go down to like 90K, 80K. Oh my God, I'm just waiting for it to go back up again. No, I have to make that decision to sell right now, or, within the next, within the next few days, few weeks here, if we're going to stay below the 200-day moving average. I have to make that decision. It's a tough decision. The toughest decisions is always going to be trying to sell near the top, which is what kind of where we're at. And then the other toughest decision is going to be trying to buy the lows when you're at the lows, because you don't know if it's going to go lower. It's always the toughest decision when you're buying near the lows and selling near the tops. But sometimes those tough decisions end up being the right decisions. There's something to keep in mind here. So TikTok is restricting my visibility here, guys. I'm going to reset the TikTok stream. Let me just see what you guys have to say here. S says, will altcoins die? Mama wants to look at XRP. Alright, well, we'll look at XRP later after SQD. But I'm going to go ahead and reset this live stream because TikTok is restricting my visibility. being a pain in the butt right now. And then you want to look at AVAX. Okay, so let me just write these things down here. We got to look at SQD at some point as well. So we're going to look at SQD as one of the first altcoins. But I actually wanted to look at the 10-year treasury and just gold real quick. Because I want to show you like what's going on in the markets here. We have a request for CoAI. Okay. Well, guys, just bear with me for a second here. So we got to look at SQD, then XRP is one of them, and then AVAX, and then CoAI. Guys, I'm going to reset this TikTok live stream because the visibility is being restricted. I'm being like shadow banned here. Something like that on TikTok. So just to get things rolling along here, I'm going to reset the live stream here. So just come and join the live stream. You'll see me come back live again here. Let's go ahead and do this reset here. Thank you. Just bear with me here, my YouTube guys, as I reset this live stream. All right, so let me get rid of this this little drawing here. Okay, and we're gonna look at the 10-year treasury real quick here because that has been affected by Jerome Powell, and that also affects the stocks and cryptocurrency market as well, believe it or not. So the 10-year treasury just measures interest rates, and right now interest rates are at 4.08% on the 10-year treasury. And we're looking at the daily time frame here, and interest rates have been trending down because the economy has been getting weaker with the jobs market, and also inflation's taking a bite out of company earnings here. And the Federal Reserve has been lowering interest rates. Well, they lowered interest rates in September, and they just lowered them now here in October. Okay, so the trend is down. You're making lower highs here and lower lows on the 10-year treasury. Okay, and what happened yesterday after Powell said, you know, interest rate cuts in December are not a foregone conclusion, basically saying that, you know, it's not a certainty that they're going to lower interest rates. That sent the interest rates up like 2.5% on the 10-year treasury. We went up about 10 basis points because of that. And today you can see that we actually have some green here. Now I'm expecting, you know, interest rates to actually go down and get rejected off this 21 EMA. This 21 EMA has been acting as resistance, so we might stay above it for a little bit and then go down later on in November here. Okay. And I want to see interest rates continue going down like they did here back in April, but even further down to like the lower point here where we saw interest rates get down here in like September of 2024 when we were at like 3.6%. If I just measure out a Fibonacci here from what we did here in July of 2025 to like the top here in August, it's showing that we have a 1272 fib extension to look for 3.65% on interest rates, okay, which is kind of confluent with what we did here in September of 2024. I would expect interest rates to continue going down in that direction, and maybe that's as low as they go here on the 10-year treasury, and that's about like a 50 more basis points to go down, which means I'm anticipating the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates again, at least twice. If they do another 25 basis point cut and then another 25 basis point cut, I think that's where they'll stop, is around like 3.6%. And that should be good for the stock market and crypto, hopefully. As long as companies are still earning money and getting profits here, the stock market will be all right. And then as far as like crypto goes, like I think crypto will be all right as long as we're still trending downward on interest rates here. So with interest rates trending downward, I would expect the stock market and crypto to do well. But with interest rates going up, like we saw yesterday, and now a little bit of that going on today, you can see how that affects the stock market. Like the stock market has gone down, and so has crypto. Your altcoins are down like 5, 6, 7, 8%. Bitcoin's down roughly about almost 2%. And what those treasury guys are doing is because Jerome Powell said that interest rate cuts are not a foregone conclusion, it's not a certainty in December. What he's hinting at is that inflation is still a problem, and if inflation is a problem, then that just means that instead of being invested in bonds, some of these investors who are in the bond market, they're selling their bonds, which is causing interest rates to go up, and they're getting in the gold and silver, and that's why gold and silver is going up today, right? Silver is up 2.6%, and gold is up about 1.7%. They're selling their treasury bonds, and they're going in gold and silver, and that's causing stocks and crypto to go down. So this might be just a temporary pullback until we get some more news about inflation not being an issue. So when we get another CPI report, that should cause probably gold and silver to go down, while stocks and crypto to go up. All right, but yeah, that's what we're seeing right now out of the 10-year Treasury in gold and silver. Gold and silver cashing the bids because Jerome Powell has basically said that inflation is still an issue. That's basically what he said, without saying it specifically. All right, let's go into some of these assets you guys want to look at. We'll take a look at SQD. Oh my god, SQD is down 10.5%, and this thing is looking like a limp noodle. That's what it's looking like. Below the 50-day moving average. I told you this was an important level to stay at, and then if you can't hold the 50-day and you can't hold the 0.236 Fibonacci level at basically 13 cents, 0.128 pennies to be exact, then you got no support, and this thing is just gonna drop down to probably like right over here at like 7 or 8 cents. Like I talked about earlier, like we could see 7 or 8 cents all over again for SubSquid here. Hopefully you got out of your long, you're out of your long position at like 12, 13 cents here, and I would be looking for shorts right now. I would have been looking at shorts right over here at 12, 13 cents just in case it didn't hold, and it didn't. So if you're shorting it, you're making some money. If you're longing it, I'm sorry to hear that, but you're not making money if you're longing this thing. And I wouldn't be interested in longing this thing until you actually get down to 7 or 8 cents like you did here in the beginning of September. Okay, so this is what I see with SubSquid here. Looks like it's pretty much game over for the longs here on SubSquid. Let's see what the oscillator is looking like. Probably looking like trash as well. MACD selling pressure is pretty strong right now, and you're not getting any pink candles on the daily time frame here. Let's see at the 4-hour time frame. It's like all over the place. You get a little bit of green and red. But going back to the daily time frame, yeah, you have no hopium. Every time you get a pink candle, you get a red candle the next day. Pink candle, red candle, red candle. Pink candle, red candle. So it's just selling pressure is just killing you right now on SubSquid here. And money flow is increasing to the downside, and the momentum is going to the downside. Like I said, you should have been in a short, and it says you should have been out of this long, and you should have considered shorting it back on October 11th here. You got that red sell dot. You still are waiting for a green buy dot. It hasn't showed up yet. But if you are trying to long this thing, I'd probably look for that green buy dot to show up here on Market Cipher B, and then you could probably maybe get a nice, good, cheap price for SubSquid here if you're still inclined to try to buy this and long it. Okay? But yeah, not looking good on the oscillators and the price action. I'm not sure what to tell you there. It's looking like a better short than a long, in my opinion here. All right, thank you, Lorraine, for liking the live stream here on TikTok. We got up to like 1,300 likes already on this reset on the TikTok. Yeah, so we're gonna take a look at AVAX. We gotta look at XRP next, and then AVAX, okay? Because XRP came in as a request before AVAX. But thank you for giving me the requests and coins to look at here. Let's look at XRP now. So XRP currently trading at $2.46, down 8 cents, down 3.3% today. And on the daily time frame, XRP had this inverted head and shoulder pattern, which was good. That's the opposite of the normal head and shoulder pattern. This is a bullish pattern that usually sends you up to higher prices, and it did. It got us above the 200-day moving average, but we were not able to actually stay above the 200-day moving average because now we're losing the 200-day moving average. So Bitcoin is playing around with losing the 200-day moving average. XRP already played around with it, and now XRP is starting to go to lower prices here because now you're getting some candle closes below the 200-day moving average. XRP is looking bearish in my opinion right now. Which is not good, but you do have a 21 EMA. This white line here could act as support, and maybe this is as low as we go. You kind of don't want to go lower than what you already did here on XRP. All right, I'm not sure what the catalyst is going to be for tomorrow or going into next week, but we need some bullish catalysts here to actually get us to go to higher prices here, because if not, then XRP might come and revisit what it did here back on October 22nd when we got as low as like $2.32. Let's take a look at the 3-day chart. There's a 100-day moving average below you at 100 moving average on the 3-day at $2.07. Is XRP actually going to go down to $2? Jeez. I mean, we'd had that candle wick scare when we got down to $1.77 on Friday, October 10th. And then we did get it to like 218 on October 16th. So I just don't know. This is not looking good for XRP. Also, again, like a bearish engulfing candle on the 3-day chart. Ugh, ugly. But you would think that we should get some support at like 215, where we kind of traded at like 215 for like the longest time all throughout 2025 here. Looks like XRP is on its way down to like $2.15, low twos here. Can I create a bullish case for you? Well, let's see what we're doing here on the daily time frame. How the oscillator is looking like. You are seeing buying pressure coming down, so that's not good. You're getting light green candles. As this continues, then you'll start getting selling pressure showing up here on the MACD. Not good. Here on money flow, you got a red sell dot here on October 29th on Fed Day. So it's telling you to get out of XRP because it looks probably the next few days are going to be bad for XRP, including today. And money flow is starting to curve down, looks like it. All right, gotta pay attention to money flow, but it looks like it's topping out here on XRP. And then go into the 4-hour time frame. You got a red sell dot here on Wednesday. You're still waiting for a green buy dot to show up on the 4-hour time frame. Hello, Kurt Borgman. Hello to you. And he says, Damien, let's go, bro. All right. So I really don't see anything showing that we need to go back up again here on XRP. It's looking like XRP wants to go down rather than go up. Yeah. I don't know what needs to be said or done here, but we really don't have any bullish catalysts. Like, we still have a government shutdown. We have we have basically no trade deals to be had because we already got one today with China, and that's not good enough for the markets. And then Federal Reserve said that we're not going to actually cut interest rates in December, but it's not a certainty. Even though they probably said they should probably allude to that they would, they're still being hawkish on the Federal Reserve. So you're getting what you're getting for that. You're getting lower prices because of that. I don't know. I can't really make a bullish case for XRP, but I can tell you what XRP needs to do to be bullish. It needs to get above that 200-day moving average, that red line sitting at 261. Okay, and then we need to get above the 100-day and the 50-day at some point, which is at 273 and 288. That would be more bullish for XRP, but XRP needs to actually do that. And I just don't know what the catalyst might be. Maybe in an XRP ETF. There's supposed to be an XRP ETF maybe later on this month. Well, Actually, we're not at the end of the month already, but maybe later on in November or December. That's the only catalyst I can think of that could help XRP go to higher prices. What kind of hurt XRP the last yesterday and these past few days is that Solana got chosen by Western Union to be used by Western Union for their stablecoin that they're trying to come out with, and they chose them over XRP. So that didn't help XRP. So I don't know what a bullish catalyst would be for XRP besides the XRP ETF at this point. All right, let's move on to AVAX. AVAX currently trading at $18.19, down 7.5% today. And AVAX is also below its 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is sitting at $23.09. So a lot of these altcoins are already in the bear market because they're below the 200-day moving average, and they've been around below the 200-day moving average for longer than a few days. Like, it looks like Avalanche lost its 200-day moving average, 22.96. It lost it on October 14th here. Yeah. So it's been like almost 2 weeks where Avalanche has been in the bear market. Below that 200-day moving average, I would call it. Yeah. I mean, what do you guys classify as a bear market? I classify it below the 200-day moving average. I know some people say if you drop more than 20% from your most recent high for the year, for the highs for the years. And AVAX was as high as let's see, $36 on September 23rd here. We're clearly below 20% since September. Right, if I just measure that out here from $36 down to $18, you're down 50%. I would call that a bear market for this particular asset. Yeah, that hurts. I feel like anybody that says that we're not in the bear market on altcoins is in denial. And anybody that says Bitcoin's not doing a head and shoulder pattern on the daily time frame is in denial, because we don't want to see prices go any lower than where they are, but they're capable of doing it. Trust me, they're capable of doing it. Hate to be so bearish here, guys, but this is what the charts are showing. It's one of the reasons why I'm wearing a red shirt today for this red day that we're getting. Let me see if I can flip the camera here for my TikTok guys. You can see me wearing the red shirt. Yeah, I am wearing a red shirt today because we are getting a red day here in the markets. It's looking pretty bearish out there. Should be looking for shorts right now. Should be looking to get out of some of these altcoins if you can't handle the pain anymore. All right, moving on from AVAX. I mean, I really didn't give you a bullish case. The bullish case is, can you get above the 200-day moving average for Avalanche? Can you get above $23.09? Then you can be bullish again once you get above the 200-day moving average, but it's not looking like that right now. It's looking pretty sad and pretty weak for a lot of these altcoins out there. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Let's move on to CoAI, which was kind of like a roller coaster ride for a lot of people out there. CoAI is down 25% today, down to $2.31. Hey, yikes. Let's zoom back in here. Looks like CoAI on the daily time frame here has created a double top here at $20 in 1997 here on October 24th, last Friday. And some bad red days here. Red. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red candles here on CoAI on the daily time frame here. How much lower could CoAI go? Well, let me pull up the VRVP for this one. I mean, you do have some volume here. This white line, you got the value area high sitting at 245. You would think 245 should act as support, but we're actually below that now. And you're gonna get the majority of the support around like this blue line here, the point of control, sitting at like 39 cents. This thing could go down to 39 cents before the sellers are done selling. This is showing that the blue line is where the majority of people bought CoAI at, and they bought it at like 34, 39 cents here. So they're still in profit, but maybe they decide to sell when CoAI continues going down to lower prices here, and they won't stop selling until they break even at like 34 cents here. Then they'll be like, oh well, what's the point of selling now? I'm not in profit anymore. There's no profits to sell. So this is the scary part about CoAI, is that it could come down to 34 cents. And if we measure that out, right, from where we are right now, you know, it seems scary that CoAI dropped down from 20 bucks down to like $2, basically a 90% drop. But guess what? It could do another 90 or 80% drop here down to like 34 cents. If it goes down to 34 cents, that's a 84% drop from where it is right now. So you might be thinking, oh, I'm buying the lows here on CoAI after it dropped down like 90%. But it could drop down another 90% on you. Lorraine says that would be the best sale. I mean, if you're a big believer in CoAI, then that would be, you know, a really good price to get in. Better than getting in at like 19 or 20 bucks here. But that's what I'm seeing just using the VRVP here. You could drop down that low. I mean, I'm gonna try to create a bullish case here for you. I might have to go into like the 1 hour or the 4 hour time frame. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame here. I mean, CoAI's got a lot of work to do, but if it can actually get above this 21 EMA and stop using it as resistance and actually use it as support, then maybe we could end up going to that 50 moving average on the 1 hour time frame at $4.22. That would be bullish, because then you would be getting above this last lower high here on the 1 hour time frame, where you got up to like what, $3.33. Going up to like $4 would invalidate this lower high thing and actually start an uptrend for CoAI. But it looks like on the 1 hour time frame, we are kind of chilling out in the same area that people were buying this thing back on October 6th. You know, the people here and the people here are still in profit, and people here are just break even right now. If we go lower than about 210 on CoAI, then these people are going to be underwater as well. And then if we go lower than $1.73, these people are going to be underwater as well on their CoAI investment, and they're more likely to hit the sell button if they're no longer in profit and they're no longer at break even. So I'd be careful if once CoAI loses $1.73, it could be a really steep drop after that. Let's see if we just measure that out real quick. You know, if we lose $1.75, $1.73, and we come down to that 35 cent level here, that's about a 79% drop. That'd be a nice good short to get into if we lose that $1.75 on CoAI. Let's see, King Falfa says, anyone buy Smoke Meta this morning? You know, I was looking at Facebook and Meta, because I know it's down 11%, so Facebook is actually having a bad day too as well, and it's down like 11%. Let's take a look at Facebook real quick here, because I was interested in buying Facebook, because I mean, I don't feel like it's justified why they're down so low right now. Let's go into the daily time frame. Facebook is down 10% today, down at 675 bucks. And this is what the chart's looking like, a nice big gap down. You were trading at like $750 yesterday, and now you're at like $675. You're near the 200-day moving average on Facebook. You got as low as like $650 earlier today. And this is off of the earnings report. Their earnings report came in. They were expected to earn $6.72 a share. They actually came in at $1.05 a share, down 84%. Negative surprise. However, their revenue came in at $51 billion, and they were expecting only $49 billion. So they actually, they were bringing in the dollar hollers as far as like revenue goes. But their earnings, the reason why their earnings took a big hit was because of something with taxes. And I just think and it's a one-time thing. It's not going to be like next quarter or next year. So I just think this is a buying opportunity, in my opinion, for Facebook. But Facebook is trading at like $675 a share. That's a pretty steep amount for a lot of people. Unless you got like $1,000 or even like literally $675 to play with, you can't buy one share of Facebook unless you have $675. So what interests me about Facebook is that I was actually thinking about maybe buying some call options on Facebook, but I'm waiting to see if how things play out between today and tomorrow. And maybe I might buy some call options on Facebook. Try to take advantage of this dip because I think this is just going to be a one-time event. And I think we go back up to higher prices here for Facebook, in my opinion. I think this is just temporary. Right? Kind of like what you had here in March and April, where we lost the 2-day moving average on Facebook. And then we came back up again. I also another reason why I like Facebook, it is a technology stock. And it's, in my opinion, it's immune to tariffs. Like, Donald Trump doing 15% or 100% tariffs on China does not affect Facebook and their platform. It's a technology stock. It has nothing to do with. Maybe it might affect, the prices of, buying, chips and stuff for their artificial intelligence program at Facebook. It might affect the prices of Nvidia chips, especially if China does retaliation or whatever. But to be honest with you, I don't think it's pretty much immune to tariffs, in my opinion. Same thing with other companies like Rocket Mortgage is another company that I was actually interested in as well. Because if we are going to lower interest rates, then this should be good for the mortgage companies. And mortgages have nothing to do with tariffs. So I think this would be a way to play the stock market and not get affected by tariffs either, is being involved in RKT. Now, RKT has gone down from where it was here in September, mainly because they are reporting bad earnings compared to what they did a year ago, because there's less people taking out mortgages. But if they keep lowering interest rates, you would think that would be good for their business and they can start making money again for RKT over here. But RKT in an uptrend got to the lowest price point here in January of 2025. This thing was at $10 roughly. But I think as they lower interest rates and the economy continues to chug along and do fine, then I think RKT could be a winner, not a loser, in the next few months here. See what the Lorraine said. Lorraine says, true, Nvidia and Tesla are better and are going to do amazing things in your opinion. And Tariq said, what happened to the market? Tariq, what happened to the market was Jerome Powell yesterday. Even though they cut interest rates, he was still being hawkish. And I'll just cut to this article here. I showed this earlier. This is an article from ABC News, right? The Fed, they cut interest rates for the second time this year, but they rejected a large reduction that was sought by Trump. And then this is what he said: a further reduction of the policy rate in December is not a foregone conclusion. In fact, far from it, is what Powell told reporters yesterday. He could have just said this: a further reduction of the policy rate is not a foregone conclusion, and just left it at that. But because he said far from it, it makes people think okay, they're not going to cut interest rates in December, so the markets have to reprice everything, because they were expecting another interest rate cut in December, and now they have to take those bets off the table, and that's affecting the market right now. And because he said far from it, that caused the 10-year treasury to go up in interest rates because people are selling their treasury bonds to go into gold and silver now. Because if he's saying that interest rate cuts are far from it, like they're not going to cut interest rates, then that means he's worried about inflation. And why would you want to be in a treasury bond giving you like 4% or 3% or whatever it's at, when you could be beating inflation, right? Because that 4 to 3% is not going to beat inflation by enough margin. So if inflation is a problem, then you might as well be in gold or silver or something else that benefits from inflation. And that's what people are doing. They're going into gold and silver now. They're selling their treasury bonds to go into gold and silver. And, you know, silver's up 2.7% today, and gold's up 1.8% today. And that's where they're going. And because people are selling, you know, their treasury bonds to go into gold and silver, selling those treasury bonds causes interest rates to go up, which causes stock market to go down and crypto to go down in the process. If that kind of helps explains it to you. All right, Anthony's over here doing an advertisement here. But yeah, gold seems to be catching the bids here. Let's take a look at the price of gold here real quick. Gold currently at $4,002, up 1.8% today, up $73. And let's look at the oscillators here for gold. Gold is actually catching some bids here, and the selling pressure is dying off on gold, and you're getting a pink candle here. Maybe it might be time to actually get back in the gold again. According to the MACD there, RSI is in neutral territory at 51.3 after being overbought during the beginning of October and all throughout September here. And what do we got here for the Market Cipher B? Market Cipher B, you had a red sell dot on October 21st wanting you to get out of gold, especially being above the overbought horizontal red bars here. But now you're just waiting for that green buy dot to show up. Could that happen today or tomorrow? Maybe we got to get back into gold again here. For you crypto guys, you can get exposed to gold by buying PAX G, and there's like another cryptocurrency called XAUT, which is gold on Tether. So there are ways to play gold and silver if you want to get into it. So yeah, gold catching some bids here. And we'll take a look at silver for those who want to play silver as well. I think it's probably going to be a similar looking chart. But yeah, you're putting in the lows here. Possibly a higher low here on silver, where silver got down to the 618 Fibonacci, right? Or close to it. It got down into this golden pocket here that we were looking at. And now you're catching the bids here on silver. And silver on the MACD, selling pressure is dying down, so that's looking good for silver. And RSI is curving up and in neutral territory, so it has room to go to higher prices and not be overbought. And then looking at Market Cipher B, you actually did get a green buy dot saying that you should be buying silver today, because there might be a few more good days and good weeks ahead of you for silver here. And I think gold and silver are probably going to still do well because the government shutdown is still in play. There's a lot of fear and uncertainty in the market, which is hurting the stock market and hurting crypto, but it's beneficial to gold and silver when people are afraid out there. And then even when the government actually opens up again, the reason why they're going to open up again is because they're agreeing to spend more money, which is going to cause more inflation, which is going to cause gold and silver to go up in price. More inflation, weaker dollar, higher price for gold and silver. Kitty Kush says the money printer is going to get turned on in December. That would be nice if it could do that, because that would actually get crypto and stocks to go back up again. It would also cause gold and silver to go. It causes everything to go up if they do the money printer. Where can you get silver on what exchange? So usually people buy their silver at a gold or jewelry store, or there's some websites like Money Metals Exchange or JM Bullion, another place where you can buy gold and silver online. You can buy gold and silver ETFs in the stock market, and you can also buy gold in cryptocurrency world using PaxG coin. So if you go onto a cryptocurrency exchange, such as let's see, what exchange? I know Mexi has it. PaxG looks like it's also on Binance. So if you go on like Binance Exchange, and they even have it on Coinbase. That's interesting. They do. But yeah, you can buy PaxG. Trades at $4,002, and you can buy it on the cryptocurrency exchanges. And it's supposed to track the price of gold. Jesus says he's all in gold. That's interesting. Guys, we're at 3,400 likes here on TikTok. Let's see if we can get that up to 4,000 likes here. YH says QT ends. Rocket goes. Rocket ship. Laureen wants me to check out MP. And for my TikTok guys, if you double tap the screen, that sends a like out. If you can just double tap that screen for me, that I appreciate that. Let's TikTok know we have a good stream going on here. All right, so we gotta look at MP for Laureen here. Is this a stock or a crypto? Because there's an MP stock. But I have to ask because I know sometimes you guys want to look at cryptocurrencies instead. Lauren Sia has followed me here on TikTok. Thank you, Lauren Sia. Welcome to the Meet Damien community here. And if you guys want to stay in touch with me when I'm not on the live stream here, you can come join the Meet Damien Discord here. There's a Meet Damien Discord server. Link is in the description on the bio for my TikTok page. But if for some reason that link doesn't work, you can actually message me on TikTok and I'll send you another link. So you can come join the Meet Damien TikTok. I'm sorry, Meet Damien Discord. And you can see like all the stuff that we talk about, the news events here. I show you guys when I go live. I'll post up the link for my my live stream here. And we talk about the charts here and share some funny memes and stuff like that when I'm not live. So might want to check that out, Meet Damien Discord. So stay in touch with the Meet Damien community here. All right, let's go back to MP. So, Lauren, let's. All right, you want me to take a look at MP, the stock? Okay, I had to check because I wasn't sure if it was a crypto or not. Because if it's crypto, I gotta type in MP and then crypto. All right, so here we go. We got MP on the New York Stock Exchange. This thing is currently trading at $65.33. You see that right there, up 1.6% today. I mean, if you're looking to buy it, I mean, it's already had a dip. We topped out here on October 14th at like $100. Had a steep drop, almost like a 35% drop, right? Let me just measure that out real quick here. Yeah, about 35% drop. So you're getting it on sale right now. And you're currently above the 50-day moving average, just you would think should hold that support. And you're back to the same prices that you were at back here in September 9th, where we were at $62 roughly. So you would think like the people here are probably gonna not click the sell button unless we lose 60 bucks here. So if we lose 60 bucks, which is right around where that 50-day moving average, then I would expect this thing to drop even further. Where could you go? There's some sideways trading action here in July at like 46 bucks. And that's kind of confluent with a 100-day moving average. So you can just use the moving averages to help guide you. You know, don't lose the 50-day moving average. But if you lose the 50-day moving average, you might be able to buy this thing on discount at a 100-day moving average, sitting at like 48, 46 bucks here. But this thing is bullish. in my opinion here, even though you had that dip. Because you're above the 200-day, the 100-day, and the 50-day. It would be extremely bullish if it was above the 21 EMA, and it was, you know, earlier this month, but you lost the 21 EMA, that white line there. So you're still bullish, you're just not extremely bullish. Okay. And let's see, and we'll measure out some Fibonacci here, figure out where this thing could go next here. And we're kind of hanging out near this 0.5 retracement at 64 bucks here. Let me see. Yeah, about $64.78 is a 0.5 retracement. I think this is a good area to get in for a long, to be bullish on this asset here. And then, you know, upside targets probably going to be the 618 and the 65 golden pocket at 73, 75 bucks, which is right with that 21 EMA. So you could, you know, if this thing plays out, you could go higher, get rejected off that white line, maybe come back and revisit 64, 65, or maybe make a higher low, come up to that white line again in that $75 area, and then break out towards like the 786 retracement at $85 here. And if you are able to get up to that $85 area, that's about like a 30% gain from where you are right now. It's a nice, decent gain in stock market world. Just something to take in consideration there for MP. And stop loss wise, I probably put the stop loss below 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average sitting at 61 bucks. Maybe I put a stop loss at like $58, $57 if you want to keep it tight. Just something to keep in mind here for a trade on Materials Corp, MP. Chiama is in the chat. Good to see you, Chiama. And S. Tijan liked the live. Thank you, S. Tijan, for liking the live here. Maureen says it's a good stock that you've been in and out. Yeah, I'm a little bit curious. What does this thing do? It's a, let's see. The description for this company should be in the bottom. It engages in the production and marketing of rare earth materials. It operates through the materials and magnetic segment. Alright, so it's a rare earth company. And we all know we need more of that, not less of it. So I think this is going to be a good company to be in. It's good stock, apparently. And let's see, market cap is at 11 billion. And the next earnings report is coming out in November. They're expecting to actually lose 17 cents per share. And their revenue is at $53 million. That's interesting. So they're only making about like $50 million a quarter, which is like roughly like $200 million. But they're an $11 billion market cap company. Interesting. We'll have to keep our eye out on this one, Lorraine. If you want to make a request for this in the next few days, few weeks, we'll see how it does. And we'll take a look at the charts again. But yeah, I think now's a good time to take in a low risk long, a low risk buy, and you put your stop loss below the 50-day moving average. And if you lose the 50-day moving average, then maybe you might get this thing cheaper at the 100-day moving average, sitting at 48 bucks. But yeah, I would, you know, plan on putting a stop loss right below the 50-day moving average, and you're hoping to try to at least get back up to $85 all over again at that 786 retracement. Kitty Kush wants to take a look at QSI. All right, so we're looking at some stocks now. I guess some people are giving up on crypto, and we want to look at stocks, try to make ourselves feel a little bit better with stock market world. That's okay. I am the Meet Damien channel. This is not the Crypto Damien channel. But I was thinking about doing a Crypto Damien channel too. Like having another channel that just focuses on crypto. But yeah, I'm not a one-trick pony. I can talk about stocks and crypto here. Let's see. We're looking at QSI, Quantum C Incorporated, trading at $2.07, down 3.27% today. Look at the daily time frame. This thing was extremely bullish, and now you're flirting with not being extremely bullish because you're below the 21 EMA at $2.10. Looks like the moving averages they're a little bit confused because you got the 200 and the 50-day moving average above the 100-day moving average. Usually you want to see, like, if it was a bullish market, you want to see the red below the blue below the green, and the green below the white line. But maybe it needs to sort itself out here. I'm just trying to zoom out, see what this thing has done before in the past. Looks like it had really good days back here in January of 2025. You got as high as what? 577? Okay. So it's kind of looking like one of these altcoins here in cryptocurrency world. You got some lows here. Kind of like a double bottom at like 97 cents here. Okay, I'm just familiarizing myself with this chart. If this was a double bottom, then it would play out like this, right? You just measure for the top in between the two bottoms here. And you put that measure move on top of the top. And it says that we should have got up to like $3.30. And it looks like it almost kind of did that here. You got up to like $3.10 on October. So the double top kind of played out. I mean, the double bottom already played out here on the measured move. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so what can I do here for you? I kind of want to draw out some fibs here for you. Let's see what the fibs can do here. From 310 down to the swing low at $1.35. Looks like $1.35 was the swing low. Yep. So you got a fib here to work with here. And if it was a normal pullback, you would have come down to the 618 Fibonacci at $2.43. You already did that because you're below that now. And it looks like you're kind of hanging out near the 0.382 Fibonacci here at $2.02. If this thing does a further pullback, you would expect maybe the 0.236 level at $1.76 to act as support. And $1.76 looks to be confluent with what you were doing here back in the beginning of October when this thing was at like $1.70, $1.80 here. So yeah, if we're not able to catch the bids right now on this stock here, I would look for $1.70, $1.80, try to buy some around this area where people who bought back here in early October, they're in profit right now. But if we go down to $1.70, $1.80, they're just going to be break even. And they're not going to hit the sell button unless you lose like $1.60 here. And $1.60 is that 200-day moving average. If you lose $1.60, then there's something wrong with this stock here. But I would expect, you know, yeah, you can buy it now. Maybe this holds. Excuse me. But if it doesn't hold, then you could probably get the stock cheaper, like $1.70, $1.80. That's what I would try to aim for in the near future here. Now, if this thing actually catches the bids here, then you'd expect some resistance at that 618 golden pocket at 240 and 249 here. And there might be a little bit of resistance from that 786 retracement at $2.72. Let's see, did you get up? Yeah, look at this. This Kennewick high got up to like 273. So traders and investors, they were respecting the TA according to the Fibonacci here. These numbers are not, they're not here for no reason. Like, they do get respected most of the time here on the TA in the Fibonacci here. But yeah, I think you buy low, sell high, right? If this thing climbs back up to like $3.10, how much of a move is that? About a 49% gain. That's pretty good in stock market world. But even if it just gets up to like the 6.5 golden pocket, that's about a 21% gain. And also the 786 retracements, that's about a 31% gain. And then game planning your stop loss. I probably put the stop loss below the low here on October 22nd at like $2. Maybe we'll just say $1.99. You're only risking about 4%. So you're risking 4% to try and get up to like 20% or 30% or even 50% on this stock here. you plan on holding the next couple of months, I think this might be a good stock to be holding on to. Yeah. What does it do? You got an earnings report coming out. It says in the next 6 days, market cap is at $418 million. And what do? It's a life science company focused on revolution, the growing field of proteomics. I don't even know what that is. And engages in the development of proprietary universal single molecule detection platform to enable next generation protein sequence. So it's like a biomedical stock, like a biotechnology stock. It was founded in 2013 and headquartered in Connecticut. Yeah, so it's like a biotech company. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I've never seen this stock before, but thank you for that request. ST Jin is asking, why is crypto down today? Crypto's down today because the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, said yesterday that interest rate cuts in December are not a certainty. And he said he even took it further by saying that it's far from being certain. So they interpreted that as, okay, inflation is still a problem and they're not going to lower interest rates in December, so let's sell our stocks and go buy gold and silver instead. Because gold and silver are up today. So they're selling their stocks and they're selling their bonds as well, and we're all going back into gold and silver again. That's what's going on. Ran wants to look at Amazon. Okay, we'll take a look at Amazon for you. And Hamdi says gold short. I wouldn't be shorting gold. Maybe wait a few more days, see if gold price goes up a little bit higher. We were looking at gold, and I think gold is catching. This could be a higher low for gold, and then we're looking to see when it makes either a low or high, or if it comes back up to the highs here in October 20th when we're out to like 43.81. But I think gold is catching the bids right now. I would not be shorting gold. I think a good time to short gold, if you need an actual market event, I would start shorting gold when the U.S. government actually reopens again, because that takes away some of the fear and uncertainty out of the market. And gold and silver does well when there's a lot of fear. So, government shutdown ending would actually be bad for gold, in my opinion. All right, let's look at Amazon. We're gonna take a look at Amazon for one of the guys here. Amazon's gonna be reporting their earnings soon, right? When do they report their earnings? Oh, it's gonna be tonight, right? Yeah, Amazon and I think Apple is gonna be reporting their earnings tonight. So that's pretty important to pay attention to those two companies there. With Amazon being a $2.4 trillion company by market cap here. Yeah, it says the next earnings report is today. Let's see, on the earnings report for Amazon, they're expecting $1.56 earnings per share on revenue of about $177 billion. Oh my God, can you believe that? A company making $177 billion in like 3 months, 1 quarter. All right, so Amazon is currently trading at $225, and it's down 2.2% today. And what do I see here with Amazon? You are making a lower high compared to what you did here on September 9th. You saw Amazon as high as $238, so that's no bueno, in my opinion. You're not in an uptrend if you're making lower highs here. Let's see. Let me get rid of the moving averages real quick here. We'll turn them back on, but we got a low here at $211 on October 17th, and then a low here at $211.42 on August 4th. I think that's going to qualify as a double bottom. So the double bottom, it kind of did play out where you went up to the upside here over the last couple of weeks here on Amazon. But you would expect if this was going to be a double bottom that it should be going higher than that previous high here on September 9th. Okay, so not really playing out that well for Amazon on the double bottom. Now, Amazon does have a 50-day moving average below it at 223. If you lose that, might be support at that 21 EMA, that white line at 221. But if you lose that, then we could be coming down to that 200-day moving average one more time here for Amazon, and that's sitting at $214. I think this would be a better buy zone area for Amazon, getting it at like 214 or even 211. And you can put your stop loss really tight below the lows here on October 17th. You can put your stop loss below 211, maybe like 209 or 208, somewhere in that area. That's what I'd be game planning for. So if Amazon has a bad earnings report, yeah, you're going to see the stock drop down. Depending on how bad the earnings report is and how bad, even if it's a good earnings report and it's just bad guidance, if they're not expecting to make more money than they did this quarter, then that could also send the stock down. And you could buy it at like that 200-day moving average at like 214 or even, 211 if it comes down to the lows here in October. That's why I'd be game planning to buy Amazon. Now, if you're already in Amazon and it's a good earnings report and it goes up to higher prices, then all right, yeah, that's fine, If it does go up to higher prices, then we got to figure out how much higher could it go. We have seen highs here in September at like 238, but then we've also seen some highs here at 242. So maybe 238, 242 could be some targets to look for. You could just game plan that out. Put a horizontal line here reminding you to sell at 238, and then another line here at like 242, and those are your targets to the upside as of now, just using previous price action. But I don't think Amazon's ever been higher than 238, 242. So if it goes higher than that, how much higher could it go? Well, I'm gonna have to do a Fibonacci on this one now. Okay, so we're just using the Fibonacci here. I think what I'll do for this is I'll measure from the swing lows here back in April to the swing high in September, if we're gonna call that. Actually, no, I'll do that swing high here in July. So measuring from like what, 238 or 236, somewhere in that area, down to the lows here in March and April at 162. Was it 162? Around that area, 161. Okay. So we have a fib extension above us. If Amazon's going to continue being bullish here, good earnings report, whatever, good guidance, whatever they need to do to send the stock higher, right? You have a 1272 fib extension at 256. That should be a target to look for. So I would just mark that off on the chart, right? 256 as another take profit area for Amazon, and then 1618 at 282, you mark that off on the chart here, and that should be another take profit area for Amazon. Okay, so those are your take profit zones if Amazon goes to higher prices, anywhere between 238 up to like 282, and these are the targets using the Fibonacci here, and also previous price action, where we got highs of like $238 here in September and $236 here in July. Tariq says crypto is tanking, bro. Yep, that's what it's doing. Let's go back to Bitcoin. I think I'm gonna end the live stream soon here, guys. So we'll finish off by looking at Bitcoin again. I'll give you my summary analysis here on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin at 100, right? $107,000 here. We're about to get a daily candle close below the 200-day moving average. I'm concerned about that, just like I was back here on October 17th when we closed below it. We need to get back above it again to create a bullish case for Bitcoin, because now it's looking pretty bearish for Bitcoin and crypto if you continue staying below that 200-day moving average. And if you continue staying below that 200-day moving average, and if this is a head and shoulder pattern that plays out to the downside, then the target for that head and shoulders is we could see Bitcoin go down to like $90,000 here. Also using the VRVP, which is another indicator that I like to use here for you guys. But the VRVP indicator, right? as I pull up, it's this green and red bar indicator to the right. It's showing that there is some volume here. There's a high volume node here, like 104K, 103K. If we lose 103, 104K, the volume drops off significantly here. And you won't get support until you get to like 96K and 94K, 95K, somewhere in that area. So those are your levels to look for. If we lose 107K, 103, 104K, if we lose 103 or 4K, then we're going to probably come down to 97K for Bitcoin here. Yep. And then what does that do to your altcoins? It's going to do a lot more damage than it does the Bitcoin. That's all I can say about your altcoins there. So you better pray and hope that Bitcoin catches some bids here and we can get above that 2-day moving average. Right now, that 2-day moving average for Bitcoin is sitting at 109K. We got to get back up to 109K. And of course, as I'm talking about this, we're losing 107K right now. So yeah, not looking good for Bitcoin. Looking very scary and dark out there. I get it. Might be time to take some profits. Might be time to enter a short. Because, we could see Bitcoin go down to 103, 104K. Like we did here in October 17th, when we saw Bitcoin go to 103,500 before we caught some bids there. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. I'm sorry I gotta give you the bad news here, guys, but this is what the charts are showing. The only good news that I got for you is that, if this gets invalidated and if we catch some bids here, and this is just a buy to dip opportunity, if we can get above 109K, then we have to work our way back up again, get above that 50-day moving average, not use that as resistance, actually use that as support, and we got to get up to like 114K all over again here. Then we can work our way up on the Fibonacci levels here and try to get up to that 119K area, that 618. And that's going to be a tough area to crack for Bitcoin. It will make people feel a lot better. It will give a lot of relief to the altcoins if we get back up to 119K. But 119K was acting as resistance here back in July. Okay, and we've only been above 119K for like a couple of days here in August, and like maybe like a week here in October. So I think 119K is your tough battle to beat if Bitcoin can get back up there. But first, get above 109K. Stop it with this nonsense of going down below the 200-day moving average. But if this is going to continue, then 103, 104K all over again, just like we saw here in October 17th. And if we lose that, then we're talking like 97K for Bitcoin. And I see yet Trade Intuition has entered the chat. We're about to end the live stream here soon, but I appreciate you coming into the chat and smashing the like button. Thank you for doing that, Trade Intuition, and reminding everybody about that. And we got kind of like a Trade Intuition raid going on. Oh, Joe, you must have done a longer live stream this afternoon. But yeah, I was we've gone over a few requests here. We've even talked about stocks. We talked about SQD, XRP, AVAX, CoAI. We talked about the stock market, a few stocks here, Amazon. If you want to rewatch the stream, you can watch me talk about those cryptos and those stocks earlier. We even talked about gold and silver as well, the 10-year treasury at the beginning of the live stream. So much. You can watch the replay of the live stream on YouTube. And for my TikTok guys, I know you guys have me on TikTok, right? But you should come check me out here on YouTube. And let's see, I gotta put in my channel here. But yeah, that's me on YouTube. Meet Damien YouTube. You can see me. I go live here on YouTube as well. You can watch the live streams if you missed the live stream, or you want to watch all of the live stream again. The replays of it are on YouTube here. And we do have another crypto YouTuber in the chat. Let's look at Trade Intuition. He's another guy that goes live. If for some reason you miss me, if I don't show up one of these afternoons, I know Trade Intuition, he does live streams during the afternoon time. You might be able to catch him. But he is changing his schedule around to like 9 p.m. Eastern time is when you can find him to go live. And just another good crypto YouTuber that you can ask questions, put in your requests, and talk about crypto. Now, Trade Intuition, I don't really think he talks about stocks, because I actually requested a stock yesterday. He didn't actually He didn't answer my question about the stock that I wanted to look at yesterday. So I think if you just want to focus on crypto, that's trade intuition for you. But I don't know. I'll let Joe put in his word about whether or not he does stocks or if he just does crypto. Yeah, Joe, I asked you to put in the request twice in last night's live stream and you didn't. So I was like, all right. Maybe he doesn't talk about stocks. Well, okay, so you do talk about stocks. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I just think, if we're gonna enter a crypto bear market, it's gonna be tougher for us to get excited about crypto. And I know in previous bear markets in crypto, people rather talk about stocks instead of crypto. So I'm willing to talk about stocks as well as crypto. If there's nothing to be talking about crypto, and if it gets depressing in crypto, we can just talk about our stocks instead. So I'm not a one-trick pony. I can do crypto and stocks, gold and silver, oil, 10-year treasury. And Joe says, if it's on the charts, he can look at the charts and he'll do stocks as well. So all right, trade intuition, just another guy for you guys to look out for. It just seems as though right now, crypto is very popular and everybody likes to talk about crypto, but we're also capable of talking about other things besides crypto as well. Even though I put Bitcoin and crypto in my thumbnails as well, I can do stocks. I know that. And I am not Crypto Damien. I am Meat Damien. And I can talk about anything and everything. And we don't even have to talk about stocks and crypto. If you guys want to talk about I don't know, football or something like that, we can talk about that as well. Talk about how good the Patriots have been doing. It's one of my favorite teams. But yeah, we talk about other things besides that. That's why I didn't want to just pigeonhole and make myself a one-trick pony. I can talk about everything. I do like talking about stocks and crypto. And that's why I constantly keep making content about it. But yeah, at some point I like to do some other content as well besides crypto and stocks. Maybe I might show you guys what it's like to fly an airplane, because I can fly an airplane as well. Maybe I might show you when I go on vacation to Costa Rica again. I might put a content up for that. I know I went to go watch monster trucks with my nephew about a month ago, and I put up some YouTube shorts and some TikToks of the monster trucks, and that was pretty popular. Got a good amount of views there. So when I do fun stuff like that, I like to put that up on my channels as well, not just stocks and crypto. Steve Hickey's in the chat saying, Damien, are you following Cambion Networks? No, I'm not familiar with that. Is that a YouTube channel? Kitty Kush says, we're going to pump this weekend. I hope so. We need to get out of this danger zone for Bitcoin. Cambion Networks is a stock. Okay. I was gonna end the live stream, but if that's a request, I can look at that for you. No, I am not following Cambion Networks, but I'm a little bit curious since you mentioned it, how it's doing. Oh, of course. That's why you wanted to take a look at it. It's up 32% today. All right. What am I supposed to do with TA on this one? Oh my god, this looks like one of those old coins, right? Once again, it looks like an old coin. This thing has some of its best days here in April of 2021. So that has been going down and to the right and down to the right. So this has been a great way to lose money. Or you could have shorted this thing and try to make some money shorting it. But this is a stock, so it's really hard to you can't do individual futures trading on a particular stock like you do with cryptocurrencies on the crypto exchanges. And if you wanted to short this stock, you would have to do put options. You would have to do options trading, and that would have been the way to make money, is just get into a put option. But looks like this thing just out of nowhere just caught the bids. As I start to zoom back in on the price action, You got above the 200-day moving average, which is what we would like to see out of a lot of assets here, is getting above the 200-day moving average, using the 200-day moving average as support rather than resistance. So it did that, and now you caught the bids out of nowhere. So somebody got paid. Looks like you were trading around like 60 cents on October 28th, a couple of days ago, and now you're at $3.95. What the hell? So that's like, if I measure that out from where we are right now, actually, yeah, from 60 cents to like where we are right now, it's a 500% gain. Let me go to the weekly chart. I bet you that's gonna. I could get the actual weekly candle here. Yeah, you're up 510% for the week on this stock. What the hell does this thing do? If I scroll down here, I can get the information about the stock. Cambium is a holding company. It engages in the provisions of wireless broadband network infrastructure. Its products include point-to-point, enterprise Wi-Fi, and CCTV software and point-to-point, multi-point. So it's in telecommunications. Yeah, telecommunications company. Has a market cap of $111 million, but I bet you like 5 days ago it was at like $40 or $50 million. Or like maybe even like $20 million. And it has the earnings report coming out in November 6th. They're expected to earn only 6 cents per share on revenue of like $54 million for the quarter. So what good bit of news came out? Because that has to be news driven. It's not related to the earnings, because the earnings is coming out next week. So what did this company say or do to get the stock to jump up 500%? That's crazy. Viral Clip 6698 says subscribe to him. He's trying to get to 1,000 followers, subscribers, I believe, on his TikTok channel. All right, let's see. Kitty Kush says, "Go Jays." Are you? I assume you're a baseball fan if you're saying that. And let's see. Dave Brumblebee says, "You're gonna be honest. You're very sick of crypto. Likely going back to stocks if the market ever runs. Your plan is to go to stocks only January 1st, 2026, and be completely out of crypto. Crypto's broken." It seems that way, doesn't it? I totally understand if you want to go back into the stock market, because some of these stocks can do just as well, if not better, than some of these cryptos. I still think Nvidia is doing better than Bitcoin over the last 5 years. Oh man, yeah, David. Well, you know, David, you just don't know. You just don't know, you know. Even though it seems bearish out there in cryptocurrency world, it could be a buy to dip opportunity, because we do have some positive catalysts. I'm going to try to end positive here on crypto. We still have some altcoin ETFs that haven't come out yet, like the XRP ETF here in the United States, and also we haven't had some of these Solana ETFs come out. And I think there's some more altcoin ETFs as well. Government shutdown. If that government could get back up and running again, we'll get more of those ETFs. So that should help. They did cut interest rates. The only thing that kind of messed things up is they said that, you know, like I said, going back to this news article here, Jerome Powell, he took it a little bit too far yesterday. He said that an interest rate cut in December is not a foregone conclusion. He could have just ended it at that, but then he took it a step too far by saying, "Oh, in fact, far from it." Like, so a lot of people interpret that as like, we're not getting interest rate cuts in December, and they had to reprice that into the markets here. So they decided to sell their stocks and sell their bonds as well, because why would you want to be in a bond if Jerome Powell is worried about inflation? You might as well be in something that's going to benefit from inflation, like gold and silver. So they sold their stocks, they sold their crypto, they sold their treasury bonds to go into gold and silver today, and the gold and silver are catching the bids today. All right. So But this could be temporary because if they, if we get some more news about the jobs market being bad, then they have to cut interest rates again to help support the jobs market. So that's probably what we got to pay attention to. But it's been hard for us to get the jobs report because the government shut down. The government actually creates the jobs report. So with the government shut down, there's no jobs report. But they might, when they actually reopen the government, we'll probably get like one big giant combined jobs report where they combine like September and October jobs report for like the month of November, maybe if they open up in November. And then we'll know how bad the jobs market is, and then they'll lower interest rates, and that should help support the assets. And then inflation. If we just show that inflation is not really an issue anymore with the CPI report, then that should also give them more reason to cut interest rates. It gives them the green light to cut interest rates if inflation is not really an issue. But yeah, could be about a dip opportunity in Bitcoin and crypto and stocks. And this could be, basically a relief rally for gold and silver after they had a few bad days here. Gold and silver is trying to catch a break right now. But this could just be a relief rally. We could get rejected and make a lower high here on gold and silver. We just don't know. Nothing's certain. We just play it day by day. That's why you got to come show up on these live streams to kind of get ideas like what the game plan might be for these assets here. Right now, gold and silver are catching the bids here. Crypto and stocks are not. But that could change tomorrow, especially if I don't know, if the government resumes operations. I think that would take a lot of fear and uncertainty out of the market, and that would cause gold and silver to actually go down and cause the stock market and crypto to go up if they get the government back up and running again. But even if they don't, we are still getting a little bit of a trickle on the gold and not on the crypto ETFs. Like we actually did get a Solana ETF yesterday. Let's not forget that. Solana did get an ETF with Grayscale. We just need to get more ETFs, and if we get more ETFs, I think that would be beneficial to those particular cryptocurrencies, and then just the altcoins in general should benefit from ETFs. So we still have things to look forward to. It's not game over quite yet, but it does seem that way when Bitcoin is below its 200-day moving average. I totally understand why we're getting scared again here. Okay, totally understand it, and it might be time to be looking for shorts. You can still make money. If we are going to drop down, you can short the market, right? It doesn't have to always be we only make money when we go up. You can make money with the market going down. And that's another reason why I think you got to come on to these live streams to figure out, how to become a better trader and how to enter these shorts. Like, obviously, the best short would have been like shorting, Bitcoin on October 27th, a few days ago here. Whoever decided to take a short when we got above that 50-day moving average, they got paid by being in that short. They should be now thinking about taking profit on their short, because I think now is the time to get into a long to see if this is just going to be a fake out. If this is going to be a fake out and we actually get back above the 200-day moving average and we get some good news, then you're going to get paid on your longs for Bitcoin. But, I understand if you want to still stay in the short and take it down further, because 103, 104K would be next, in my opinion, if Bitcoin continues going down from where we are right now. Yep, David, you're right about that. You can make a lot of money shorting the market, but you got to know what your levels are, and you got to be fast at it, because the market does drop down faster than it does go up. We all know that for damn sure, right? Like we saw that on October 10th here. Look how fast that went down. 7% on Bitcoin in one day, right? But then look how long it took us to get up to that level. It took us a few days just to get up to that level that Bitcoin was at. Yeah. So you take the elevator down and you take the stairs to get back up again. That's usually how the markets work, from what I've seen. Ever since I've been investing in the market since I was 18 years old. In the stock market world since I was 18. I bought one of my first stocks that I bought was Boeing and Google. I'm not in those stocks anymore, but those were some of the first stocks that I bought. So I've been in this since I was 18 years old, and I know that stocks go and crypto goes up. They go up the stairs and then they take the elevator down, and you can make a lot of money, and you can do it really quick and fast. But you have to be really good at it when it comes to shorting. And you have to know your levels so you don't get blown out on your stop losses. David. Now, David, you talk about manipulation and stuff like that. It might be manipulation, but do we talk about manipulation when we're going up, though? Do we say, oh, we're getting manipulated to go up to higher prices here? No, it's just when we're making lower prices, when we actually go down is when people start saying, oh, it's manipulation and stuff like that. But I identify that I think this is a head and shoulder pattern here. I know some people might not want to agree. Some people might be in denial, but this is a head and shoulder pattern. Doesn't mean it has to play out that way. It could get invalidated. If it gets invalidated, all you have to do is get back up, get a higher price than what you did here on Monday at 116,400. And this gets invalidated. It's no longer a head and shoulder pattern. Then you might see some guy say, oh, it's going to be a double shoulder. But, I don't play that game. We just need to get, in my opinion, we need to get back up to 109K. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Right? We're down 2%. We're down $2,000. If we can go up 2%, go up $2,000 from Bitcoin, it's not game over yet. And I think I'm going to end it on that note, guys. We're coming up on almost a 2-hour live stream here. I appreciate you guys coming in, liking, following, and subscribing here. And if you haven't done that, then, I mean, why not? I think I gave out some good TA here. And gave you guys some good opinions about the markets here. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get those likes up. Let's get the likes to match the amount of people that are in the live stream right now. I got 15 people watching on YouTube. We got to hit that like button to get at least 15 likes here. And then if you're new to the channel and you want to see me on your, show up on your YouTube or TikTok feed, then go ahead and hit that follow and subscribe button. And we're going to be ending the live stream here. But if you want me to take a look at that particular stock or crypto, you can come find me off the live. If you go on to the Meet Damien Discord channel, link is in the bio and link is in the description of the YouTube video. And you can see, we can just keep up, you'll see when I go live here. But then you can also ask me about whatever stock or crypto you want me to take a look at. And we can just continue the conversation there on the Meet Damien Discord channel. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. I appreciate you guys coming in. And I'll see you tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're not able to come onto the Discord channel, you can just wait until tomorrow. We'll look at your stock and crypto tomorrow. But that's going to be it for today. I got some things I need to do. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. Take care, guys.